chip trailer?
Yes, instead of 1,000 yards.
That even
Yeah.
seems large
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
about-
Small enough
Yeah.
bag?
Okay,
He
thank you.
must know what he's doing.
It's,
Okay,
boy. It's not too bad.
all right. So I'll correct that front page and then you can report.
Let's open the meeting. We have minutes from the 18th. There's edits on the 18th. Minutes down under where it says Whittier's Farm. He lives at Wade and Whittier of 7 Douglas Pike. There's a change. And on the back, right here, this is a 100-yard chip trailer, not a 1,000-yard chip trailer. Those are motions.
Make a motion to approve with edits.
Second?
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And I'll be abstained. And there's the minutes from May 22nd.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from May 22nd.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. So I can sign the 22nd, right? But not the 18th?
On the 22nd.
You're gonna reprint the 18th?
Reprint the 18th, please. Wally gave me a few edits too, but those are already in the set that you're looking at. Oh, and I'm just gonna note for the record that Wally is acting as a full member in place of Wayne.
Alright. So we have the minutes, filings.
You have 3 filings, the Whittier Farm filing that we spoke about at the last meeting. Atlas Tuning and Performance, that is 12 John Road. It's a gentleman who basically, if you buy a really expensive, well, any car, but generally an expensive car, he has like the turbo boost systems to those. It's not repairs or anything, it's just kind of adding the,
Adding horsepower
adding
to your
yes,
car.
to your vehicles. So, and then Borrego Solar, that is the solar project that will go in the overlay district off 23063 Purgatory Road. They'll also be filing an acknowledgement that as they proceed at their own risk, noting that the AG hasn't come back with approval on this overlay district. So, they just want to be in a position, because it's retroactive to the date it was voted. It's the date it was voted, but it carries an AG approval. They have also submitted this form that looks like this. Their fee would calc out to almost $8,000. They've given you this form that shows you in Winchton, Hubbardston, Gardner, Hardwick, Charlton, Hopkinton, all the projects they've done, and what the average peer review fee was for different kilowatt projects. And they are requesting a waiver down to $5,430 from nearly $8,000. So you'll see what the fee should have been up here, 79, and then their request is pretty clear here.
This is because we can't make any money for anything in the town of Sutton, even though we are always looking for money.
And
Right.
you're really not supposed to be making money off application fees. So, and I doubt, again, just like the last one, this is a virgin site, so there is drainage review and stuff like that, but even with that, I don't know that they'll go over this number. But- and if they do, they have to pay the difference.
They've been warned about all the rocks that we have in Sutton.
Especially on Purgatory
Yeah,
Road.
They
they're
have
cutting
not been
Yeah,
warned, but we will
Purgatory Road.
definitely be keeping.
Gee, we were surprised we found rocks.
So
Yeah,
that's like,
seriously, we should let them know that. They're gonna clear cut that?
I'm putting it right in the minute. Yes,
Yeah,
there'll be clear
Go
cutting.
to other solar site to see.
is that at the end, like towards the highway, like near the highway,
Actually,
Yeah,
it's
there's-
way back. There's
63.
a power line easement, there's a gas line easement, and it'll go on the east side of that easement.
Because there's a lot of like sand and gravel area over in that area, isn't there?
Oh, I don't know.
I bet it's mostly
No,
rock.
that's
Still don't know
probably,
where it
that
is.
part's
Depends on
probably.
where
It's right up against it, and there's a wetland.
It's wherever
on
the
the
glacier
western edge
melted.
of the project.
It was
Okay.
stopped, and it
So,
stopped and
they're
dropped those
hemmed in
big
pretty
rocks
tight.
everywhere.
So,
Jen, are we,
so it's up to you if you wanna waive it, or if you just wanna require it the way it is, and tell them if there's extra, they'll get it back, it's up to you.
are we, I'm trying to look at the size to see, I can appreciate what the fees were in all these towns. Are the sizes the same, like on panels, or is this a bigger project and that's why we come out so expensive? Or do we have a chart or a formula that's more than most other
Our
places?
formula is just different than their formula. Yeah, we calculate based on construction value, the other towns might calc based on some other feature.
Okay. And I don't mind being the one that sets the bar the highest, but,
Yeah. Right, ours is not, it's not, way high. I mean, you're talking 7,900 versus 5,400 is what they're requesting for an average fee. So it's not way high, but like I said, ours is based, we tried to find a fee that works best for all types of construction, not solar panels versus an industrial building versus a restaurant. We don't, we just have a blanket fee, so that's what has worked best for us, with the ability to waive it if it seems crazy.
so the first line, 35 Happy Hollow Road in Winchington. The system size is 7,000 plus. The one that, it says system size 7,000.
Mhm.
And then I go down to 263 Purgatory Road, 1,984. So that one was much bigger than the one in Sutton.
Yep.
The quality is much bigger.
Mhm.
And their fee was 4,000. I'm just
Plus
trying to.
plus their planning board fee. So theirs was a total of 5,025.
Oh, okay,
You
planning
add
board
those
fee.
two columns, yeah.
All right.
Last time we talked about this, it was that the money is difficult to return.
It's just a pain.
Because there's a process to return, which
Yeah,
again costs us
It's all
money.
through accounting, and, I mean, it's a pain. It's totally doable. It's not rocket science. It's just time and
Time and
forms
money.
And that's, you said rocket, because of the experience on 146
Mhm.
with the rocks.
Mhm.
It's just something that we have here.
Exclamation point underlined, don't put the rocks in the buffer on top of things and expect that we're going to not say anything.
And having your budget, getting rid of the rocks.
Yeah, zero.
Yeah, so maybe reducing it.
Well, you'll have them in front of
Makes
you,
sense.
obviously, for the public
For the
hearing.
hearing anyway,
you
so we
can
can bring that up.
stress that time and time
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, because, otherwise, they may have to deal with it, so.
So are you okay with the requested waiver or not? I just need a motion one way or another.
Can I make a motion?
Yeah, make a motion to accept the waiver request for 5,430.
Second?
The difference, as I see it, last time we talked about this, it was on an existing site that had been engineered already, that we're not concerned about this, that, the other thing, runoff, drainage, et cetera, et cetera. This is gonna be different, could take more time and effort.
Yeah, so this is more than double
More of an
what you
unknown.
accepted on that site.
Whereas I think the review of the National Grid site is better understood.
Yeah, this site.
Right.
In,
So, any other comments?
because of this, there's a second, I'm wondering if maybe we should, I might want to reduce the fee after we've reminded them there may be rocks. Just because the cost of this thing might not be what they think. Or they're gonna have to deal with the rocks anyways, it doesn't
Well,
matter.
if they go over this fee, they're gonna have to pay what's over. I mean,
That's why I'm inclined to keep the fee as calculated and give back what's not used.
it's up to you.
That's my inclination.
I guess I'm feeling the same way because of what happened
Yeah.
with the last guys, and I want it to go smooth, and I want it to be nothing but gravel and everything.
But we don't know, so. All right, so the motion is.
So would that be just the idea to protect the extra money they may have to use for the rocks? Because it wouldn't cost us any more.
No, this is just a review fee.
This is the
Right.
cost of the town for all the professionals and reviewers that we may
Right.
have to have,
So
which
grades
might
Would
be,
we expect that to be
You know,
higher for some reason than what we?
because of the rocks, it shouldn't be,
Right,
No.
so the rock should be irrelevant to this,
to this particular
right?
number, right.
so, but the motion is to grant the waiver request, which is 5,430 versus
$7,000.
7,009, so it's not a big amount of money considering the size of the project. But if it takes our engineer 3 more visits and 2 more letter reports, we're gonna want the 7,938.
And if they, like I said, if they put in 54, we take out a staff review chunk that's outlined in the bylaw. We take out an administrative chunk that's outlined in the bylaw. If they don't pay the mailing fee separately, the mailing fee comes out of that. And then we start taking out Graves review bills. And as we said, with this project, if there's a little bit of money left at the end, like a little bit, we don't worry about that. If there's a chunk left, we refund that money back. So if they put in 54 and we start taking stuff out and all of a sudden they're running in the red, they'll get billed that amount.
Right.
So they always have to pay whatever they run up in expenses. That's outlined in the bylaw.
That's how it
So
works.
even if you waive it down, if they go over, they have to pay
Okay.
everything. And we won't issue them, sign that, as-built plan or allow them to throw the power switch basically until any
Until it's
outstanding.
settled up. And does that include your time and Tammy's time and
The
administrative?
administrative fee covers Tammy's time, the staff review fee, my time is in there.
Okay.
I'm feeling better.
Okay.
How about the tax department's fee?
All of the staff review fee is one just chunk of money.
Just a chunk. You don't allocate on timesheets, so we know what that money is, okay.
We do not.
All right, so we're good?
Yep.
The motion is to grant the waiver, so we would retain
Call for a vote.
5430.
Call for a
And
vote.
call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained.
Five.
And I think one of my concerns is that they are operating, and their own acknowledgement, I trust that that's in writing, that they're at risk.
I just told them that I fully expected, because it wasn't included in their filing package, that you would acknowledge their
Acknowledge that.
filing effective, putting that in writing.
Form A plans,
Done.
correspondence, other.
Nope.
All right, so we have a public hearing that we can continue right now for National Grid Solar on parking and storage canopies.
All right, hopefully we've made this easy. Mike has provided you a letter dated May 31st, 2017 with the waiver, so you can just run down them and vote them. I have provided you a list of minimum conditions that are part of this approval, should you choose to approve it as well. Okay, so that's what we need to know.
So at the hearing, this is the thing we didn't want to craft, right? So we asked the applicant to request the waivers, as this is an existing site that's already gone through site plan and has drainage, has lights, has a bunch of other stuff. Therefore, we didn't think that it needed to be submitted and reviewed, so this is the official list of waivers.
All right.
This corresponds to the book, correct?
Yes. So this is the site plan review section of the bylaw. This is section 4, which is the site detail requirement. So the first one is for D, to not show structures and uses within 100 feet of the property. The only two that are there are two residences in the Walmart property, and it's within 100 feet of the property line. So those properties are within 100 feet, those structures are well over 500 feet away, is the closest of those structures on those lots. So, National Grid property projects, property lines way out here. There's a structure within 100 feet of those property lines, but when you think of the total distance between the project area on the site and the structure, it's a minimum. Walmart's 500 feet away, one of the houses is 1,000 feet away, and the other house is 2,000 feet away. So, he just hasn't shown those on the plans, so. So, what do you do?
We're reading, let me just make sure we're in the right place. This is, 4,
C4D.
C4, oh, D, sorry. Okay.
So he's not showing,
You want me to read off, Scott? Let's see. And you have it. Is that right?
You wanna read what he wrote and we compare to what's in the bylaw?
Right, does that make sense?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, C, site plan review. Number 4, site plan and supporting materials. There is no waiver request from A, B, or C. And D is location and use of structures. Structures within 100 feet of the property lines were not submitted. The only structure within 100 feet of the property line are 2 residences in the Walmart building. One residence in Sutton is located 2,000 feet north of the project area. One residence in Northbridge is located more than 2,000 feet northeast of the project area. The Walmart building in Northbridge is in Northbridge and is greater than 500 feet from the project area. B, location of all existing buildings were located on the existing conditions plan.
you wanna
However,
do one section at a time? One waiver
Well,
at
that's
a
clear.
time?
How many do we have?
A few,
A bunch.
so you probably don't wanna run on.
Okay, so let's do them one at a time.
Alright, so requesting a waiver,
So what Bob read is the waiver.
Section 4, Section C, 4D.
right,
Uh,
to not show structures within 100 feet of the property lines, cause they're too far away from the project site.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to request
To grant
to
that?
grant that waiver.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained.
Okay, what's the next one?
E is locations of all existing buildings were located on the existing conditions plan. However, all dimensions, floor area, height, etc. of these buildings are not included, as there are no changes to the existing structures, and this information was previously provided as part of the site plan review for that development. There is no anticipated further expansion of this property at this time, and I'll make a motion that we grant that waiver.
Second.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Section F, details on the private ways, parking areas, driveways, sidewalks, ramps, curbs, fences, paths, landscaping, and walls in this project area were included, however, not for the entire property. I'll make a motion that we grant this waiver.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
G, no waivers are requested. The existing light poles in the project area are 25 feet tall.
Now, are you removing the light poles though?
Yes, yeah. I had to think, because when we were here last time, I didn't know the height. We were talking about lights of existing lights.
Yeah.
I didn't know the height, so yeah,
Alright,
just include that.
alright, so you're removing those, and the only lights you're putting back on are under the canopies, and you've already given us the details for those.
Yes, right.
Yeah, so you don't need a waiver.
H, no
Wait,
waiver.
you just said he doesn't need a waiver, but he's asking for one, right?
No, he's not.
Not
No, he's
a-
not.
Oh,
No
I'm reading
waiver.
the wrong
No
thing.
waiver.
This is what he's required to do, what you're doing, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
H, no waiver is requested, except for safety notification signs required as part of the electrical code. No signs are proposed. I, the existing utilities in the project area are shown on the submitted plans. However, utilities not located in the project area are not shown on our plans.
So those utilities relate to the power collection and inverters and stuff like that.
That I have on my plans,
That
right?
you already have on
Drain
there.
lines
Okay.
in the project area are shown.
Everything else remains the same.
Yeah, everything, the sewer, electric, everything else is, I'm not gonna be near that.
Storm drainage, underground tanks. Yep, okay.
Oh, storm drainage is the next one.
I'll make a motion that we grant that waiver.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
J, stormwater management calculations are not provided because there are no changes to the impervious surface area of the property, and as detailed in the initial submittal, and as discussed during the public meeting. There will be no changes to stormwater flow or system because of this project.
And you do have that correspondence from Graves that says he agrees.
Make a motion that we grant that waiver.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Me.
K, contours were only provided for the project area, not the entire site. These had been previously provided on other development plans. I make a motion that we grant that waiver.
Second.
And there's no changes to grade on this, associated with this project at all. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain? Approved? All in favor? Opposed? And abstained?
L, no landscape plan is necessary for this project. We are requesting a waiver of the need for one. I make a motion that we grant the waiver.
Second.
I'm just gonna note that I'm recommending a condition that after it's all installed, we'll take a look, and if we need something, we'll let them know. Need that in this motion?
Mhm.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
M, zoning boundaries for the site and surrounding area were not provided. We are requesting a waiver of this requirement. The zoning was determined by review of the town GIS layer. What's GIS layer mean?
Geographic information system layer. Zoning boundaries usually are just shown on the locus map on the front page.
Yes, and we did include that on this. The whole area was industrial except for the street,
Mm.
which,
Okay,
well, it's all Northbridge where there was differences.
that's up to you guys. I don't think it's critical, but usually it's not
No,
horrible to
doesn't,
put it on
doesn't
the
seem
front.
it.
I'll make a motion we grant the waiver.
Second.
That was M.
This is M. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
N, we are requesting a waiver of the need for the traffic study. There is no change to full-time employees on this site because of this project. Following construction, there will be no additional traffic to this site. I make a motion that we grant that waiver.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
O, we are requesting a waiver of the need for a table listing use, employees, seating capacity, etc., as there is none. I make a motion that we grant the waiver.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
P, no waiver is requested. Architectural elevations are shown in the set of plans submitted, of PF plans submitted. All right. Q, there is no waiver requested, no additional parking is required. And R, we are requesting a waiver of the need for the community and fiscal impact assessment.
I think you need that waiver, if you could just read that language
What
from the
is it?
bylaw. I think it says the planning board may require one.
May require it.
Yeah, so if you have not required it, you don't need a waiver from it.
So do we project an increase in the cost arising from demands on public services, projection of increased tax revenue, employment, and value of the infrastructure?
You project an increase in the good things and not the bad things. so
Right.
we're not requiring them to do the report to show the,
Are we altering the structure or surrounding community? Probably not. Impact on significant historical properties? Probably not.
No.
Local plans, oh yeah, that's fine, that's reason. So there's no waiver there. All right, that's good.
okay, done with waivers.
Okay,
So I'll make a motion to approve the site plan for the 3,105 kilowatt system at 1152 Main Street, Northbridge. With the following minimum conditions. Approval of all other local, state, and federal authorities and bodies. Prior to the endorsement of the site plan reference to the site plan, approval shall be entered upon the plans. Prior to the issuance of the building permit, the applicant/engineer shall submit 5 fleet prints of the endorsed.
I should say 4.
4, alright.
Yeah.
I saw the 4 there in the
Yeah.
appendices, I was like, what's that? Complete 4 complete prints of the endorsed site plan and 1 electronic copy to the Sutton Planning Office. If not already in place, a Knox box shall be installed at the gate, keyed with a Sutton Fire lock with all necessary keys and fully knowledgeable contact lists for the site. Any illumination, including security lighting, shall be arranged so as to reflect away from abutting properties and be directed in a manner to limit light trespass. Prior to the startup of the facility, the site engineer shall submit an as-built it's capitalized, sorry. As-built plan and written certification that the site has been constructed substantially in accordance with the plans approved by the planning board. Prior to startup of the facility, the owner/applicant operator shall provide the fire department with training and knowledge of necessary for first responders to this location, including a walkthrough of the entire site in consultation with the fire chief. The planning board reserves the right to review site landscaping and require additional plantings to achieve intended screening. Landscaping shall be properly maintained. Any dead or diseased plantings shall be replaced in the next immediate spring or fall planting season. And the board reserves the right to review landscaping annually to ensure it is being properly maintained.
Can we add another sentence on number 5? That if light trespass is found to be excessive, we
You have to submit a remedy and get it approved by you.
yes, we can review that and require additional, require lighting changes as discussed.
So we have to put in construction times? Days, times, or it's just a normal?
On this site, at this location, I would think other than excluding Sundays, maybe a time, 7 AM to 6 PM and then no Sundays, but up to you. I mean, it's remote from residential areas for the most part.
When do they typically do this, regular hours?
Yes, unless we get way behind schedule, then the most I've ever done 7 days a week, but never double shifts or anything like that. Some contractors work 4 10-hour days
Okay.
because they want longer weekends.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, some of the folks we hire will work probably 5 to 6 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day.
Do you wanna do
Just,
specific hours as a condition?
Does the building department have requirements on it? No, nothing?
don't stop before 7, right? That's
We
typically
usually try to never start before 7 usually.
this time of the year. You're a 10-hour day.
Yeah.
You're done at 5.
Yeah, that's no
So-
problem. We're not gonna realistically start construction in the field for about a month and a half, because now that we're getting all our permits in place, we have to make our orders and have to manufacture things, so it'll be, they originally told me 8 to 10 weeks for the steel to show up, but we'll start foundations before then, but yeah, they won't start before 7.
So no earlier than 7 AM.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you usually stop at dark, right?
At the latest, yeah.
So 7 AM to dusk. And no Sundays? Or do you care?
If
I
we
can
can leave the
save-
option open, I'd love to leave it, I hope to not, because it means I'm way behind and in trouble, but,
Where there's no residents there.
Yeah.
7 AM to dusk.
And based on what this place is, trucks can pull in there at any time of the day and pick stuff up, especially in a
Yeah.
bad weather situation, so.
I know they run a second shift most days, but I don't think on weekends,
Yeah.
but I'm not positive.
Yeah. I
I don't
just,
mind
I'm unfamiliar with the installations and what it'll take to drill those piers and stuff, so you don't know what kind of
Yeah,
noise.
it won't be, you won't hear from here, but,
Attention
it's actually not
shutters.
that bad.
Not that bad, okay.
Honestly, the most annoying noise we make is when we're tightening things down, the impact screwdrivers. There's 20 guys doing that, it's a symphony, it's,
Right.
it gets annoying if you're right there, but as soon as you're 100 feet away.
I don't mind being a lone vote for Sundays off because I am doomed to 7 days. Forever have been. I started off with Sundays and
Yeah.
it's it's personal for me, so it'll be a lone vote. Every Sunday, I think this is crazy.
So you're gonna add the 7 AM hours, no, 7 AM to dark. And you're not gonna do Sundays unless it's,
Unless I'm in trouble, yeah. I hope not
should I
be
put
in
it that
trouble.
way? Unless in trouble. Dot, dot, dot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so with those 10 conditions,
You got a hand in the back.
Nick,
Are there some panels still in Northbridge?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Another thing is that the address that was given was, what, 1052 Main Street? You
Yep.
cannot enter the property from that. The entrance to the property is on, was it Valley Parkway or whatever the
Mhm.
name is? It's been that way for about 10 years.
does it have an address on Valley Parkway?
It's
think
I
they
think it's
still-
100 Valley Parkway. That's how I used to refer to it, but the assessor's office, I think, refers to it as 1152
Yeah,
Main.
that's how
Now,
they,
That's Northbridge, I know that, but the access is off of Valley Parkway, and you can't get in there. And another thing is that I think on any kind of project like this, you all should walk through this place. Because I've walked through it several times for the fire department and assessors, and you get a whole different picture than what you're seeing here today.
Mhm.
Just a recommendation. I don't have any objection at all to the project. I don't think it'll be seen at all. The most noise you'll have is from Walmart.
That's a good point.
so you don't recommend any additional conditions?
No.
I know that the National Grid folks told me that they would be reaching out for the pilot of personal property tax to both towns now that we're, know the project's moving forward, so they handle that, I don't.
And a memo did go to the town administrator just expressing Nick's concerns and they negotiate any kind of pilot as opposed to personal property tax, that the assessor's office be included in those discussions.
Mm.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So we need to change the address? How do we address?
No,
It's a
I'm
Northbridge.
just telling you that changing the address might be a problem here because of the two towns involved. And I'm just telling you, you cannot get to it. In fact, there's a big sign in front, do not use this entrance, closed, go further down the street.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's all a secure site, you've gotta buzz in anyways, right?
Yeah,
All right, so the motion was John, second was
Bob?
Bob.
anything else? Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Motion to close this hearing?
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor to close the hearing?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to
Abstained?
adjourn?
Move we adjourn.
Second your motion?
Like, do we want to stay?
All in favor? Aye. We are complete.
7:38.
I hope he's watching. I
Yeah.
hope he's watching with his good shoulder. Today, he said he'd be home. But I ran out of time to call him, but I want to call him.